Hi everyone and welcome to another video by Simtay. So today we're building a load of boxes. No, I'm just kidding. So I had this idea to build a pink home and I didn't really know what it was going to be. So I was kind of in between a little cute British Georgian home or a sort of American style pink perfect house or a little Spanish villa, but we've just done a Spanish villa, so I didn't really want to go back to that. And then I was kind of scrolling through Instagram and I saw that my friends were vacationing in Marrakesh, and I was like, Morocco has some nice houses. So I tried to build a sort of Moroccan style holiday home, and I do it in this vacation world because I've never really renovated that many of the houses in the vacation world. So I thought I'd do that, and that'd be a nice sort of thing for my Sims to go to. And a lot of this idea was actually inspired by one of the delux Let's Plays. So her Get Famous Let's Play, she had some girls go on a little bachelorette party. We call them head parties in the UK, so that's a hard word to say. So the main idea for that was going to be this like pink house that you and your girlfriends could go vacation at, celebrate your hen do or something before you get married. And I really like the way this has turned out. I kind of tried to do it in the form of like a hotel. So it's got 6 bedrooms. 2 of them are like sort of premium type master bedrooms. 2 are double bedrooms, and then 2 are twin rooms, one of which is suitable for 2 children and the other one is suitable for 2 toddlers. This build also has a kitchen, a dining room, a bar area, a library, and a wellness room, as well as a little cute open courtyard. So yeah, I hope you do enjoy this build. I have had to split it up into 2 parts just because the whole video was over half an hour long, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to listen to me talk for half an hour, and I'm not even sure if I could talk for half an hour. So if we just look at the build over here, I'm putting in loads of archways because I did kind of want it to be really, really open. I did consider putting some actual doors in the front here, but I just couldn't find any that would fit in. So I kind of just end up using a lot of archways for everything. So not the most secure place, however, that doesn't really matter in The Sims. I do use some doors upstairs as I found some really cute ones from movie hangout stuff that worked really well in this build. And I do actually end up using a lot of the movie hangout stuff for furnishings and such. I feel like it just worked really well in this build. I really like the sort of soft pinks that pack has. I end up using it quite a lot. So you can see upstairs now where we've got the 6 bedrooms. The premium rooms do also have a small dressing room as well, and all of the double bedrooms have little balconies attached to them. You can't really go on them as they're only 1 tile wide, but I thought it was a nice little touch, and if this was a real hotel, I can imagine that would be quite convenient. I do like having balconies in hotel and just kind of standing on them and looking over the world. Makes me quite happy. One issue that I was having in this build was finding the right windows. I feel like we have a lot of modern windows and we have a lot of sort of like classic windows, but we don't really have that many sort of Moroccan, Spanish, or just sort of like windows that'll look good in an authentic villa. So I did try a few out. I was having a real issue with it. I looked at using some like sort of curved ones at the top. I pull out some of these ones that I used in my Spanish build, but the fact that they were blue was just really not working for me. I would have gone pink and green, but these blue windows just didn't look quite right. I didn't like the way it wasn't symmetrical, because obviously the bedrooms at the top are smaller than the rooms downstairs. So I actually end up taking this off camera in a second to try and sort it out. I first like see what the blue looks like against the pink paint, and just try and pick out pink paint as well. But I ended up pulling out these ones that we got with Strangerville that had shutters in them, and I was like, well, Spanish and Moroccan builds kind of have shutters, maybe not so much Moroccan, but Spanish villas have shutters. So that was kind of my overall idea for it. So I kind of took it off camera to add all the windows in, because it was quite painful watching me decide on windows. So I saved you from that. You're very welcome. I kind of painted the whole house pink here, just trying to add some landscaping in. I did want to have loads of sort of like plants growing off this villa, because it just would have fit in a lot better into this world, as it is very, very green. So I've pulled out some of those little pink flowers. I absolutely adore them. I think they look so, so pretty on here. And then these ones that also came with Get Together. I actually thought they were romantic garden stuff, but they look like they get together. So I feel like they've worked really well. I like the way they just kind of climb up the building. I didn't do too much landscaping on the outside of this build, mainly because there's not actually that much room. So there's loads of landscaping on the actual building, as well as I kind of do this little cute courtyard in the middle that I would imagine would have sort of like planters, to create this nice little like oasis type vibe in this build, because I just wanted to do like a little chill out area in the middle, which I saw in a lot of Pinterest images for Moroccan hotels and Moroccan houses and so on. They all seem to have a little courtyard area with a small pool and some lounge chairs and a lot of greenery. So that was kind of the vibe that I was going for here. So I added a lot of plants onto this. I have had to size a lot of them down, just because all of the jungle adventure plants are absolutely huge. I don't know why they're so big, but they do size down quite nicely. And to size things down, it's control and then square bracket, and it kind of goes both ways, so whichever square bracket you press. I've added in some of those not paintings but wall murals that we got from Jungle Adventure as well. I feel like they work really, really well in this build, and I did want it to kind of be authentic but also have a touch of like glam and modern to it. So I kind of use these sort of terracotta or whatever tiles they are. I do kind of go through different tiles for a bit, try and use these Jungle Adventure ones, and then I do end up swapping them around quite a lot, but in the end I really like the way that the tiles in this build have turned out, mainly because I kind of wanted white tiles in the centre bit with a lovely tile around the pool, because that was kind of what I saw when I was looking at Moroccan builds. So that's kind of what I tried to create here. The Jungle Adventure ones just seem to work a lot better than the other ones. So I do actually put a marble tile in the centre here. I do end up changing it later for a different tile, but marble did kind of seem to work quite well. For the little garden boxes areas here, I used the city living fences. I just really like those fences. I think they're nice, and I've not actually got to use them in a lot of builds, which is a shame, but I feel like they don't suit that many builds, but I do really like the way they've looked in this build. In terms of the roof line, from what I've seen on Pinterest, a lot of these houses kind of tend to have a flat roof with some decorations on it, so I pulled out some of those roof decorations there and just overlaid them to create a sort of like crown shape there. And as I've mentioned before, I do actually end up splitting this build into two parts. So in part one I kind of do the outside of it, and then a little bit of the downstairs, but then I end up doing the bedroom and the rest of it upstairs. So currently I'm putting in some skylights here that will just go down to all of the bedrooms, and weirdly I was having an issue with these skylights glitching out, so I do end up kind of putting them in, deleting the flooring below them, but for some reason light was just not going in. It was just acting really weird. So I don't know if that was kind of a glitch in my game or what was going on there, but for some reason these skylights don't seem to work as actual skylights. Or maybe that's just me, maybe they are working and I just can't tell what the difference is. I'm not sure, but I think it's a nice touch to have them there. I like the way that they've turned out, and it does just add a little bit more of a detail to the roof as well. So just doing some tidying up here, making all the sort of like half walls white, adding some roof trim in, and now moving on to the landscaping. I kind of just pulled out loads of jungle adventure stuff, and it does look quite messy, but I feel like it fits in with the world here. I do a nice little neat front bit here with all the plants. I was getting really annoyed because all of my plants kept clipping to the foundation, and I think that is one of the most annoying things that they do in The Sims. Like, I don't want plants to kind of clip to the foundation, so if we could fix that, that would be grand. So yeah, just adding some little plants here, some cacti. I do go in and add some fountains in a minute as well after I fixed off these stairs, which I think looks quite cute. I did want to add a little bit of a water feature at the front here, and I think that is just enough. I also saw these lovely fountains when I was looking in the fountain section, and I feel like they would just kind of fit perfect on the inside. So we are sort of doing more of the interior now, adding some waterfalls to the pool, which I really like the way that they look. It's like a little wall of waterfall, and I think it's a nice feature. And this is the wellness room that I was talking about. So I kind of put in a sauna and a hot tub here, which I think is a nice little entertainment thing to have on holiday. There's also a couple of bubble machines to fit in with that Moroccan style, with little sort of poofs outside them. I do add a little bit of seating area in the courtyard here, as well as some sort of like, let's pretend that there's sun lounges over here. I know they're technically sofas. I really wish we actually had sun lounges. I'm sure we did in Sims 3. I can't really remember, but it would be cool. And then just some sort of like drinks tables that you can put your drinks on or your magazines on, if you're sort of lounging around here. And in a second here, we're gonna move on to the bar area. Slightly struggled on what bar to add in, but I feel like this tiki one works quite well. And then I just pulled out some Peacemaker bar stools and also put in a little table over here. I did initially think about putting some sofas in, but I feel like they didn't quite work, and the table just looked a little bit better here. So I just changed the colour of those poofs to pink. I wanted to add in a little seating area at the front here as well. So I did try those movie hangout sofas, and I feel like they look quite cute under the stairs. So we're onto the kitchen now, and I did keep it quite simple. It's mostly white. I feel like having pink counters would have been too much. Plus I did want to use these jungle adventure counters, which I feel like fit this build quite well. So there's an island in the middle with a cooker, and that little bit in between the two windows I make into a little coffee nook as well. And I put out a lot of those drink trays around here, which I think would be quite nice for your Sims to have. And I think we're very close to cutting off here. So in the second part, I'll kind of do the bedrooms and so on. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you've enjoyed this build so far. Until later, bye.